is Community Connections, airing on OROMIA11, and I am your host, Anna Orr. Today's guest is Anisha Murphy, CEO and lead attorney with Justicelaw Llc. She'll be talking to us about her upcoming trademark clinic that'll take place this Saturday over on University Avenue. She'll provide all the logistics. She's going to drop some gems about entrepreneurship and business ownership, as well as help you navigate your legacy with some estate planning. This is going to be a wonderful episode and some information that you won't want to miss. Good afternoon, Anisha. Can you introduce yourself to the program and just talk a little bit about what Justicelaw Llc is?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Anisha Murphy. I am the founding attorney and managing attorney of Justicelaw Llc. Justicelaw was created and designed really out of a want and a need to provide affordable, accessible, and innovative legal tools, is what we call them, to underserved and often overlooked and underestimated entrepreneurs. And so I wanted to use law as a way to bridge the gap between the business community and the traditional legal community as we knew it. When I launched Justicelaw, I was also working at a business support organization, and there was just a gap in the marketplace between law and business support resources. And mainly a lot of the legal resources that was out in community or that was available to community was through a pro bono lens. And I feel like pro bono is good, but no one values pro bono. And most importantly, I think on another aspect as well, not only was it like this pro bono services, but then when you are getting free services, then, it's based off of that person's availability and their time. And I realized that, just because people are in underserved communities or low to moderate income communities, they're often underestimated because people underestimate their ability to pay. Right. And so I wanted to create a product, which is my services, that could be more accessible and financially responsible to communities of color that needed the services the most, as well as any other entrepreneur that could pay $500 or $600 an hour.
Okay.
So in short, Justicelaw is an innovative new economy law firm that combines traditional legal practices with modern sort of legal business strategy to meet the needs of the underserved and often overlooked and underestimated communities.
Can you talk a little bit about what the day-to-day for Justicelaw looks like and how you guys actually execute that mission you just shared with us?
The day-to-day varies based, to be quite honest with you, on the task at hand. I think it's really getting grassroots and understanding what our entrepreneurs need and meeting the entrepreneurs where they are, right? I wanted Justicelaw to feel and be different. Some days I may have a suit on, some days I may have just a plain, professional dress on. I wanted it to be a firm where people felt like, not only is this attorney giving me sound advice, she looks like me and I can resonate with her. And so to your question, it really just varies on the task at hand. But the most important thing with the work in our execution style is making sure that we are taking complex legal concepts or complex legal matters and simplifying them for the entrepreneur, so that it is actually a tool that the entrepreneur can use to grow and thrive.
Your organization is really timely because throughout the pandemic, we've seen so many people transition from either the workforce to becoming entrepreneurs, or they've created a side hustle to kind of stretch their dollar more. And I think a lot of people forget some of the legal aspects that need to take place for your business to be considered legit or official. And so we know that you guys are currently having a trademarking event coming up on the 17th of this month that's going to take place with your partner Connect Up, correct? Can you talk about that event and some of the steps people need to make sure that they are I's that they need to dot and T's that they need to cross in the world of trademark or entrepreneurship?
Yeah, for sure. So I just want to back up and answer something, or just touch on something that you said. I don't think people forget the legal aspects. I think the law has been such a, like any system, has been so unfavorable to underserved communities that they sort of, I would say, not shy away, because it's always in the back of their mind of like, I want to be legal, I want to be legit. But a lot of times when a system wasn't designed for you, right, and they continue to lock you out of that system, you shy away from it and you just put, a luck of the draw, and you kind of just do it yourself, right? Until you get to a place where you're like, okay, I actually need a lawyer, or I'm in trouble, right? We're more reactive when it comes to certain systems that haven't just traditionally been for us because of how society has designed these systems to work, right? And I don't want to get defeated going downtown to a lawyer who's telling me my business idea or concept is not viable, or telling me that in order for me to get a simple legal document drafted is going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars. So it's not that businesses, it's not on their back of their mind. A lot of times it's making the work accessible and relatable and affordable for the businesses to take advantage of them. To that extent, that's pretty much the nemesis around or impetus, whatever the word is, around sort of this trademark clinic. I actually got this concept from my partner, and we were just talking about like what are ways that Justicelaw can get out into community to really further our impact. At that time, we were already working with the city of Minneapolis on their BTAP program and just doing a number of different workshops and trainings and clinics. And it was like, let's do a trademark clinic. But at the time, it was like, let's model this trademark clinic after the hackathon. So if you know anything about hackathons are big in the technology industry, where a technology service provider will use an entire day and do something technology related for small businesses. So whether it's registering businesses with websites, whether it's setting them up on POS systems, etc. So the goal is, let's take the hackathon model and use it for 4 main concepts as it relates to protecting businesses that business entrepreneurs think about, but it's not in their face. And so this idea of a trademark-a-thon came out of that. It was birthed out of that, which is a 4-part series of really protecting the business owner in from a wholeness perspective, and making sure the business owner has what it needs to not only grow and thrive, but to start building generational wealth for their family that they can actually leave behind. And so I reached out to a number of partners throughout the state. I got this concept right when PPP happened, like right after businesses were getting capital in order to sustain. And it's like, okay, what's another way for businesses to protect their assets, right? And as you all probably know, trademarks are a buzzword on social media right now. Like every person that you think about is pushing a trademark or the need for a trademark. But I wanted to go deeper and say, not only do I want to teach about trademarks, I also want to figure out a way to offer free trademarks to entrepreneurs who wouldn't be able to normally afford it or be able to provide it. But then I also want to handhold or go through the process with them of protecting their mark once it's registered. And so again, went to a number of different partners, local, and just was putting out fillers. And then I happened to be at breakfast one morning in January with Elaine Rasmussen and another colleague of ours, Nyla, who works at the African American Leadership Forum, who is also a sponsor of the Trademark Clinic, and told them my concept and idea. And at that time, the state of Minnesota, Launch Minnesota, was looking for grant proposals. And so we pitched this idea and they picked it up, and it's been history ever since. So something that has just been a mere concept since 2020 is now flowing into fruition now as we're going, or in September 17th, 2022. And so I'm excited. So far we have over 75 people registered, and I know more people are going to stop by that aren't registered. So that just talks about the impact that when we put something out into the community or idea out there, how God takes it and actually magnifies it, right? And make sure that the people who need the services and the resources, etc., are actually there to take advantage of it.
It's our hope by talking about this today that people will be able to see this and then reach out and attend the event, but also stay connected with Just Law so that they can continue to stay connected, but also find out more about legal matters that they need to be abreast of. So it's exciting to hear. Can you talk about what the layout of the actual event is going to look like on the 17th?
Yeah, it's a good question. We just finalized the day of run of show. So the event starts at 9:30, and for the first hour and a half, it just be a networking session where the entrepreneurs can connect amongst themselves. We'll have food, we'll have drinks, beverages, not alcoholic drinks, but beverages. And then around 10:30, we'll start the actual session where I'll present on trademarks. What are they? How do they protect your property? Even topics of like things that are not trademarkable that no one tells you about, right? And then once your mark is actually registered, how to continue to protect those, etc. Following the session, entrepreneurs will be encouraged to actually apply to Just Law's trademark program, where we will select up to 25 entrepreneurs to receive free trademarks. Now that this service is over $2,000 worth of free services that these entrepreneurs will be receiving for free.
Hold on one second. Can you take a step back and repeat that one more time for people that didn't just catch that?
So traditionally to file trademark, just to file it, the average services range from $1,500 to up to $2,500. $100 that I've seen attorneys charge for. So in all, that the entrepreneurs that will be selected to receive free trademarks will be receiving up to $2,000 worth of free services and in-kind legal support and services to really help them protect their business assets and start building assets that can be transferable for not only them as business owners, but for their family.
I think that's wonderful.
Thank you. After we get people to apply, then there will be another networking session, and the program will wrap at 1:00.
Okay. So things will kick off with the networking hour at 9:30 sharp, and everything will wrap later on that afternoon. So if you haven't caught the first part, you can show up around 10:30, and you can hear the presentation on the information and then go through the rest of the afternoon, correct?
Absolutely. And we're encouraged. I know 9:30 to 1 is a long time, right? And so I'm not naive to the fact that people are going to be having to come in and drop out. That's fine. We're encouraging you to come as you are. We're encouraging you to come when you are available to come. You do not have to stay the entire time to be eligible to apply to the trademark program. Just make sure that you actually, before you leave, that you apply to the trademark program, and/or right after you leave, that you submit your information to the trademark program, because our goal is to take all of the applications, look through them, and select the up to 25 entrepreneurs that will be selected for to receive their free trademarks within the 2-week span following the event.
Okay. Now, we talked a little bit about the system and how it's been set up to not really support small businesses, especially small businesses of color. Can you just share one gem or two, if you have it off the top of your head, that you would say people are either unaware of or should be more aware of as regards to business?
That's a good question. I think the first is to trust your crazy ideas. I think a lot of times you'll hear a million no's before you hear one yes, right? I didn't even plan, let me tell you about the backdrop of Just Law. I wasn't even going to start my own law firm. I wanted to work for another firm, and then at the time I wanted to make this as a program in the nonprofit that I was working for. I just wanted it to be an additional program. I could be the program director over it. It could be another revenue stream, and I heard no. But I continue to see entrepreneurs needing these products and services and resources. So I trusted my crazy idea and started the business. I would say make sure your crazy idea, though, aligns to a gap in the marketplace. Because a lot of entrepreneurs will start businesses because their mom told them that they have the best chicken recipe in the nation, or they can cook spaghetti better than anyone else. That's not a reason to start a business, right? A reason of the most successful and profitable businesses are the businesses that are solving a gap in the marketplace. So you should never just go into business because, you know, your friends tell you you do the best pressing curls at the house, right? Or your parents tell you you have the best food in America. You should always look at what the gap in the marketplace is for whatever you're trying to start a business in, and figure out what your unique value proposition is into that marketplace. I would say utilizing contracts. Those back end deals or those handshake deals are not legal. And a lot of times people get themselves into trouble when they go into business by not formalizing their deal on a contract. And so everything that you should do, regardless of if it's you contract with your brother to come and mow your lawn and you're going to pay him $100, that's an agreement. Like, contractual law rules a lot of our day-to-day work. And it's very important that you start looking at everything that we do as a contract and start to protect yourself, so that when issues arise as it relates to business, the courts aren't going to say, okay, Tom, how did you feel when this happened? Or, okay, Bob, how did you feel when that happened? The court's going to say, what does the legal document say? And so taking 5 minutes out, even writing something on a napkin that shows the offer, the acceptance, and the consideration, which is usually a form of money exchange, for this business idea, is so important and will save you in the back end.
I think those are invaluable pieces of information that you just dropped. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I perused the website, which I think is absolutely lovely, and I saw a lot of different things that you offered. We can have a consultation where we sit down and talk about things, and you review documents or review businesses and let people know some things that they need to know so that their weather vane is pointing in the right direction, so to speak. Can you talk about some of the other services that you offer through Justicelaw?
So Justicelaw is a boutique business firm. So everything we do is business law related. So from contract drafting and reviews to, we have monthly packages for clients that want more of a one-to-one touch base within a lawyer for a set amount of hours per month. We have we do obviously trademark and copyright filing and protection. We do real estate matters as it relates to landlord tenant laws and commercial real estate purchases. I don't do residential. That would be more on the housing side. We also are getting into estate planning, so teaching business owners about how to protect your legacy with wills and trust and power of attorneys and healthcare derivatives. I'm just dipping my toes into that work, which is so important, especially for, communities of color. We don't talk about utilizing tools or resources to pass on our legacy, right? Mm-hmm. And so how do we go from passing and needing to put up GoFundMe accounts to actually having a sustainable plan that passes on our assets, our resources, etc., to our family? And not even like the GoFundMe is just an example. Another example is like, look at Prince, look at Chad Boswick. They both died with no estate, right, plan in place. And so when they passed, they ended up having to pay the probate court or the courts millions of dollars that could have been passed to their families, because the courts had to determine where their assets went, versus them having a plan in place that says, in the event that anything happens to me, this asset gets passed to this child, or this asset goes to my wife, etc. And so it's just really important that we start teaching about legacy planning and how do we prepare for death, because that's really, when you talk about wealth building, that's really how you build wealth. It's not about what you can accumulate in your lifetime, it's what you leave behind for the generation that's coming after you.
I think that's important to consider, especially in these trying times where COVID is still happening, monkeypox, people are dying at the drop of a hat, and it's so unexpected, and then families are left with trying to unravel, like you said, the legal part of things or the financial part of things. And as many of us know, we're ill-equipped to do so, and it actually causes a lot more friction than I think it has to be if we would reach out to someone like you or your organization and take care of our estate in advance.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes, I mean, again, we don't think about it, right? We don't think about it because certain systems just scare us, to be quite honest with you, because they've never been for us. Whether it's the financial system or the legal system, I mean, all of the things that have happened since COVID, a big thing is the murder of George Floyd at the hands of law enforcement, and so like there are just certain systems that are difficult, so then we become more reactive versus proactive. And Just Law is here to provide resources and tools and tips to make it very accessible for entrepreneurs to start being reactive as it comes to protecting not only their business but also their legacy as well.
I think that's important, and I think if you're navigating a system and it is unfamiliar, that it feels so much better to do with someone that looks more like you and I than someone that doesn't. And you can ask the questions that you're worried about without the fear of looking dumb or uninformed.
Yep.
So it's exciting to hear that you're willing to not only walk with people as they navigate this, but also support them as they continue to grow their businesses or their legacies, like you talked about. Can you share your social media handles for you personally, as well as Justicelaw Llc, so that people that may not be able to come to the event on Saturday are able to stay connected with you and the work that you are doing?
Yes, for sure. So I'm on Facebook, Anisha Murphy. My Just Law page is just Justicelaw Llc on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. My Instagram name is Anisha _ the business lawyer. And my Just Law Instagram is at Justicelaw Llc.
That's wonderful. Can you also provide the address of the event on Saturday so that people know where to go? We talked so much about what was going to be taking place and all the support that they would be able to receive, and I don't think we actually shared the location and time frame.
I can. Let me just pull it up. I should have been ready. The location is 1908 University Avenue West in St. Paul, so it's literally right off the bus line on University Avenue. There is a small parking lot in the back, but then there's parking on the street and on the side as well. And so don't let it being on a busy street deter you, or don't let you being late. I had someone reach out to me like, can I just get the online version, or can we connect afterwards because I'm gonna be late? I'm like, no, still come. People are going to be ebbing and flowing in for the entire morning. So please don't just come as you are and feel comfortable in the space. It'll be a very inviting environment. Again, we'll have food. You'll be able to register for Just Law's trademark program. And more importantly, you'll be able to connect amongst some amazing entrepreneurs, both locally and nationally, as you go into this next phase of your business together, which is starting to protect your assets.
That's wonderful. Thank you for your time today, Anisha. I look forward to hearing about the successful event on Saturday, and I hope that someone watching this is going to decide to come out or reach out to you guys because of today's episode. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks for holding space with me. This was awesome.
As always, I am your host, Anna Orr, and this has been another episode of Community Connections. A special thank you to our guest today, Anisha Murphy, and her wonderful team at Justicelaw Llc. We have definitely heard so many wonderful gems and so many special tidbits about legacy and entrepreneurship. Thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom with us. I look forward to hearing about the successful event that takes place this Saturday. Business owners, you don't want to miss this episode, as well as connecting with her and her team. A special note. Please make sure as we head into the fall that you are fully vaccinated. COVID is still taking place and the numbers are surging as we head into the fall and cooler temps as kids go back to school and as many of you are leaving work from home. Monkeypox is also still a very, very serious illness that is taking so many of us away from our loved ones. Make sure you are talking to your primary physician, you are getting vaccinated, you are washing your hands, wearing your mask, social distancing, and taking as every precaution available to take care of those you love near and dear. As always, I am your host, Dana Orr. Stay safe, and I look forward to connecting again with you soon.